our channel. Yay! That's Lola. So I'm Geneva. I've never actually introduced myself to the channel yet. And this is
Jared.
And this is JC Fam because I'm Geneva and he's Jared, and then our last name is
So
our last name.
I didn't come up with this name.
Our last name is gonna be, his name is Forbes. My name is gonna be Forbes. And my middle name is Crystal, and his middle name is
Curtis.
So it just goes together. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about how we met because we're getting married in I forgot when we're getting
June.
We're getting married
June 18th.
June 18th, and it's currently, what day is it?
March 6th.
March 6th. So it's almost 3 months away, and we're really excited. And we just want to share our story, kind of for memories mostly, and then so maybe our future kids can see this video. Like, that would be so cool. I don't have any videos of my parents when they're younger. So, how did we meet?
We met. It was like two ways of meeting. First, we met in an online school called Oak Valley College, but we thought the school was going to be in person because we had an orientation in person, and I thought it was going to be in person. But at orientation, they said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to be online." So that was a bummer for me. That was a bummer for you too, right?
Yeah, but okay, we have to backtrack because it's crazy because we kind of like knew each other or something like that, but we didn't. So I knew his uncle Donnie and Nicole since I was a little girl. I don't even remember ever not knowing them, but that's his uncle and aunt. And then I also knew his papa and grandma, Linda and Papa Kurt. I've known them since I was a little girl too, because when we were younger, we grew up at the same church, but we go to a super gigantic church that is like thousands of people, and so sometimes you don't really know everyone. And there's even pictures of us at camp. We went to camps together.
And we were like literally 2 rows away from each other, and we didn't even know.
Yeah, we just didn't even know each other then. And then
I don't count it.
And I think we would have known each other if we would have if he would have stayed at the church, because I went to youth and then he would have gone to youth. But he ended up leaving. Because
my Uncle Donnie, who was a pastor at the time, he went to another church in Riverside. So I went to youth with him at a different church. So I never really met Geneva at that time.
Yeah. So we didn't know each other, but he literally lives like 3 minutes away. He lives 3 minutes away from the church. So I could have known him this whole time, but I didn't know him. I still knew his uncle and auntie, but since they moved, and his cousins too. I forgot about that. But since he moved to the other church, we kind of like stopped being connected, or like I wasn't really connected with his family as much anymore. But he knew like my brother and stuff.
Yeah, I knew.
But it's so weird how like
because her brother knew my uncle. And he would always spend the night at my uncle's house. And when I spent the night, he was there. And we would have all these, like, it was just, guys things, pillow fights and all that stuff. But, yeah, that's how I knew her brother. So when she told me she had a brother and his name was Jacob, I was like, wait, I know Jacob. I just didn't know her. And, yeah, that's how I know her brother.
Yeah, so... And then all of a sudden COVID hit, and then we met in 2020, and his uncle came back to church, back to our church. Like, it's called the Rock Church and World Outreach Center. And then I remember seeing Jared because I grew up here since I was 2. I pretty much know like everyone my age mostly at the church. And I saw him and I thought he was cute, but he doesn't remember. But it was like a Sunday night at church in the summer. They were having like, you can sit outside. And so I remember seeing him. I thought he was cute. And then his uncle told me about him. He was like, hey, like I have a nephew, and he's like your age, and you're going to the same school, because we're going to go to a business school.
Yeah, called Oak Valley College.
We were going to go to business school together, but we ended up
dropping out because the school sucked.
Yeah, I didn't end up working out anymore, and because they kept on like going they said it was gonna be in person, and then it was on Zoom, and then it just kept on.
I was annoyed. I didn't like Zoom. I never wanted to do Zoom on school.
Yeah, so it was like Zoom, and then they said it was in person, and they kept on going back and forth. But we actually didn't meet in person yet, but I remember seeing him in class, and I like Zoom chatted him. And
Well, no, first of all, I saw Geneva, and she has a sister named Janae, and they looked alike in this picture. And this picture was of Janae with her husband when they were getting married. So I was like, oh, she's married. She's off the table.
And it was
I thought she was married.
It was in the back of the Zoom video.
Yeah. So I thought she was married, and I said, oh well, that's fine. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. But come to find out, she's not married. And I was like, oh, okay. So who's that? She said, that's my sister. I said, oh, okay.
But what really happened is I kind of made the first move, and I Zoom chatted him, and I was like, hey, like, do you want to go to young adults tonight? Like, your uncle Johnny told me about you. I know him. And like, kind of just like that. But I already thought he was cute.
Well, I wasn't even ready for a relationship, really. Because I remember Donnie telling me, he was like, yeah, I was just going to Geneva. She goes to, I think she goes to your school. I was like, oh, I know I'm going to Geneva. I didn't think I was going to date her and then marry her. I was like, I wasn't really ready for a relationship. It's weird. Every time I'm not ready for a relationship, it's like God has a different plan for me. So.
Yeah. So, but yeah, same with me. I actually didn't want to date anyone either.
Because she just got out of a relationship.
It wasn't like a for sure relationship. But yeah, so I just wanted to really be his friend at first, I guess. I thought he was cute too, but I didn't know if he would like me. And then, so it was a Wednesday night that I sent that chat, and then he was like, yeah, are you going to church tonight? And I wasn't expecting
And she was late.
to meet him so soon. But then he also asked for my number. He was like, well, how am I going to contact you?
Yeah. Well, okay, so that night, we went to church. I was waiting for her, and I said, you know what? She's late, so I'll just sit with my parents. And I wasn't going to get up in the middle of service and move to go sit with her. So she was a little down about it, but hey, that's just me. I don't get up in the middle of service and be a distraction. She should have been there early, like me.
Yeah.
And we would have met.
I came a little late, but then after that, we like started texting like 24/7. I remember I was actually scared because I've like been in that season of like, yeah, you're texting, but then I've always been scared of like, because no relationship has worked out in the past. So I was like, it's probably not going to work out. Like, I don't want to get too attached to him or like have my hopes up. And so when he would text me so much, I was like, I'm kind of scared to respond. And then he would like, I don't know, I just was really scared at first. But then it wasn't that much longer. We were like hanging out at church like all the time, but we would only see each other at church.
We talked for hours upon hours. We would go to young adults, and young adults was like, what, at 7 or 6? What time did it start?
7.
Started at 7, and then young adults ended like at 9. I think it takes like 2 hours to clear out the whole parking lot, and we were sitting there talking to each other the whole time after service, and we were getting kicked out. We're like, all right, you guys gotta go. It's like, wow, it's that late.
Yeah, and I finally told him one night, I was like, or one day, it was like one day we literally talked for 4 hours after church, and I was like, are we gonna go? And what was the last thing we said?
How you said that we could see each other at church all the time.
Oh yeah.
Outside of church.
And then Jared asked me like on a date, kind of. It was like both of us kind of like decided it wasn't a date. We didn't say, but it was like hanging out.
She wanted me to try sushi. I never had sushi. Well, I had sushi before. I didn't like it. And then she said, "Oh, I'll get you like sushi." So she took me to a place called Nico Nico. And man, I love that place. Although they kind of fell off a little bit, but they have a good sushi roll called Surf Rider Roll. That was bomb. But yeah, that was our first date. We went to the Plaza.
Yeah.
We went to Redlands Plaza, and after Redlands Plaza, we went to downtown Redlands, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't dating. We weren't official, but it was like our first date, and it felt different. really, because I was like, she's not my girlfriend, and we're not dating, but this is kind of our first date. And I was just trying to take it slow, like, okay, it's our first date. I'm not gonna make a move. I'm not gonna even ask her to be my girlfriend yet. And it was weird because my mom, she was in Apple Valley with her parents, and I told my mom about Geneva for a while, and she called and she was like, "Let me see the girl you're talking to," and
that's when I kind of knew
I got super
that he liked me, because I was like, your mom is calling through. It was.
I turned so red. I was like,
date.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess that was a hint for Geneva that I liked her.
And then not even that much longer, we started dating.
7 days, right?
I don't know, but it was pretty fast.
Okay, so September 20th, that was when I first kissed. We weren't even dating, but we kissed. It was at Chipotle. I remember it was like crazy. It was crazy. And then September 27th is when I asked her out. It was either the day before or the day after the pumpkin patch.
Yeah. I met his family the first time, and then, like, since then, it just really, like, it was pretty fast after that. And Jared really came into my time when I didn't want anyone. We both didn't want anyone. But then, like, my family, like, literally, like, a month after I started dating, like, my uncle died, and then my grandma died, and then my dad got sick, and he was, like, told he was gonna die by the doctors, and they thought he had cancer, and then they thought he had
2 years to live, or a year and a half.
1 year to live, because it was this disease called MDS, where your blood isn't producing good blood anymore, and you, like, need blood to survive. And there's, like, a big old story behind it, but basically he needed a bone marrow match, and for Hispanics to find a match is, like, really low. And then whether or not they're gonna be the right match, or they're willing to donate. And then it was literally a miracle that they found a match for my dad, and he ended up surviving, which is literally a miracle. I thought, at first I was scared that I was gonna lose my dad and everything, but Jared really, like, stuck by me through everything, and that's when I knew I could trust him and stuff, and that the relationship was gonna work out. And then he asked me to marry him
on our anniversary.
It was really fast, like exactly our 1 year anniversary.
It wasn't fast enough, apparently.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get married really young, since I was a little girl, and, like, when you know it's the person. So I just wanted to, like, kind of rush it, but I didn't want to rush at the same time.
Just kidding. I the one who asked her to marry me.
I would have to wait till as long as you wanted to ask me.
I could have just made you wait till 2023. That would have sucked. But I didn't. And yeah, that's how we met. And that's basically how we are now. We're engaged as of March 6th, 2022. And June 18th, 2022, we'll be married. And we will have more updates, I guess, if we continue to do this channel or this YouTube.
But it's just crazy how God really works everything out, even though we're, like, the biggest sinners and we mess up all the time. But God still loves us so much, and He, like, provides everything that we need. And He provided a place for us to live. He provided everything.
We haven't gotten that place yet, but it's looking really good, really promising.
Yeah, and they're fixing it up, and then it'll be done in, like, April or May, hopefully May, because that's, like, a month before. But yeah, and I love the Bible verse in Matthew. I forgot what verse it is, but it talks about how, like, if God cares for the birds in the air and the lilies in the field, then He provides a place for them to live. Like, how much more does He care about His children? And I've just stood by that verse for this whole relationship, and I know that God's gonna provide for us. And maybe some of you guys are really young too, and you think that maybe you don't know if there's someone out there for you, because I didn't think there was someone really out there for me. But God knew, especially so close. Like, I always would pray when I was little too. I was like, God, like, just protect my husband and stuff. And he did.
He's
And
my
he-
dad. And God has someone for Lola. Right, Lola?
No, she's so cute.
Yeah.
She's not gonna be ours, but his parents have like 2 dogs.
They'll get rid of her
and
one day and we'll have her.
2 dogs and 6 cats and a
7.
gecko. But yeah,
A goat.
I don't know what else I said, and a gecko.
Oh,
I don't know what else to say about this video.
That's it.
That's it.
Say bye, Lola.
Like, subscribe, and share with your friends.